One of the elements I saw in the film is cinematography. Cinematography is the arts and methods of using the camera in cinema. So some examples include exposure, lighting, and camera displacement. So all these elements can never make the movie visually appealing and easy to watch for the viewer. So in the movie, the color lighting is used strategically and is a good example of cinematography. And throughout the film, bright colors are used in many facets. For example, the girl Ziki has pink hair that is bright and stands out. And her clothes, accessories, and fingernails all stand out as well. It makes the viewer have all the focus on her and helps to see how Kenya is drawn to her as well. And no one has the pink hair. It makes her the main focus of anything that she is in. So it also shows her personality as bubbly and different from those around her. And the scenery in the neighborhood is also bright and filled with color. And the bright on the dates also helps visualize them falling in love, such as pink, red, and etc. etc. Another element I saw in the film was the sound. So sound in the movie includes music, dialogue, effects, and soundtracks. And some sounds are used to enhance the movie experience. So in the movie, the girls Kenny and Zika are quickly run away from this rain. So the rain is giving a huge loud effect, indicating there's a huge storm coming its way. So the huge storm leads them both running to an abandoned van, and once again, Kenny is unsure about entering the van with Zeke and runs off. There's also many quieter scenes in this film, which means that it's just basically kind of a little dramatic and just basically like a quiet neighborhood. And then you could say that this would elevate the film's material. And there's also many scenes where Ken and Zena are silent and gazing each other's eyes, speaking louder in sounds or words. Once again, the music is also all female, and the score is written by all African artists. And it feels movie honestly great because of the audacity of what's happening. The soundtrack is also really upbeat. It feels nice and feels shows the characters just basically hanging out together, having some fun. So it basically takes the audience to the whirlwind of emotions that the girls face with their relationship. And basically, overall, the use of sound in this movie is positive and adds to the story being told. The last element I saw was basically the film and our edits. So basically, film editing is both a creative and technical part of the post-production process of filmmaking. It has to work with the layers of image, story, dialogue, and pacing. There's basically a lot of films who basically have different layers of editing, and Rafiki is no different. So there's one scene I saw where Kenny and Zeke are being ambushed by an angry mob. We mostly see them because the mob really isn't important, but they are. It also shows that they're just scared and basically selflessness of the attack. But overall, the editing is not really that good. It's kind of choppy. The cut between the scenes are kind of sloppy at times. The movie lacks good transitions, and it doesn't feel really smooth. And like as I mentioned earlier, the scene where they beat is very choppy, and it's just kind of unknown. Once again, this movie was banned, and it just basically because it's the poor editing and it just resulted the budget. But nevertheless, the editing does not take away from the story the movie's telling. And just like many of the other elements, like cinematography and sound, make up for the poor editing. I mean, you almost do not notice it because how interesting everything else is presented in the film.